If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to help me out with the production of more content for this channel, then please consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description down below. Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord and welcome to another installment of my SeetherTalks series here on YouTube. I don't really know how to pinpoint this episode of SeetherTalks or how to categorize it in my opinion. I do feel like it kind of mixtures in both of like a personal vlog kind of way where I talk about my own state of where I'm going in my own life and also kind of like mixture of like the furry fandom in a way. So I'm going to kind of mix both of them together for this one. Today we're going to be talking about being social in the furry fandom and socializing because I am the best person in the world when it comes to socializing and having friends, even though I don't have any. The reason why I got inspired to make this video is because of two reasons. The first reason was because I recently hung out with a friend of mine and we were going to record some videos. It was a friend who's not a furry. She was just basically a friend of mine from high school. And we were going to record a video, be like a non-furry's perspective on the furry fandom, kind of like an interview, kind of like questions and answers kind of thing. But it didn't end up working out, but yet we still had a fun time hanging out that day. I hung out with her for about 2 to 3 hours and near the end I was exhausted. Like, I was on the verge of, like, passing out, but I still had to go drive her back home. I was just like, oh, God, I'm so tired. But the moment that I was back to being by myself, all my energy pretty much came back already. So that pretty much does show that I'm not a very social person at all. I only hang out with others about once every 1 to 2 months, and I keep myself busy so that way I don't get sad about it because I spend a lot of my time working on YouTube videos and like doing other projects as well for YouTube, so it helps me like cope with the time of not really having that many people to be around or spend time with. I really started to realize as of lately how easily exhausted I get from socializing because I'm just simply an introvert. Like, it kind of goes like this. There's kind of like an energy level you kind of have, and depending on how social of a person you are, like it varies how much of that energy supply you have. It's kind of like batteries. Like, an extrovert has a more higher power charge of batteries than an introvert does, and mine's very low. And after I spend quite a bit of time with people, like it runs all the way out, and then I need to be by myself and refill that so that way I have more energy, because if I don't, I get super exhausted, like I nearly passed out. And now we got that out of the way, I'm now going to go into the second reason as to why I'm making this video, and that relates to the furry fandom itself. The reason why this relates to the furry fandom is because I always saw myself as being unsure about socializing extensively with other furries. The reason why I say that is because I've never been to a furry convention and I have only been to one furry meetup. That didn't even go well, but I already covered that in another SeetherTalks video, which I'll link in the description down below. Please go check that out so I can get more ad revenue and more money. I deep down do still feel a little unsure and nervous about going out and socializing at furry conventions, considering the fact that a lot of furries do use drugs and drink alcohol at the cons extensively. And the whole thing with drug and alcohol use has actually been a really big topic in the furry fandom as of the past few weeks, because if you didn't know, YouTuber Caro the Wolf, you know, the one YouTuber that did the Shane Dawson video about furries, his boyfriend died of a drug overdose about a week ago, and it was really sad to see, and he made a video on it. And you could tell that it was very hard on him to do that. But yeah, it's just this all could have been avoided if he didn't go too much into drug use. And if you watch Caro the Wolf's video, he talks about how a lot of furries definitely do use a lot of drugs and alcohol at the conventions. And like, really, if you go to these conventions, certain ones, there will be like tons of ambulances lining up just to go and help out these furries that basically just drank too much or did too many drugs. And that's very scary to see, and definitely seeing how with a lot of young people going to furry conventions, they could easily get influenced by this, or they have these really irresponsible older furries be like, oh no, it's cool to just do drugs, man, it's gonna be fine. You know, let's go to a pill popping party. And I'm like, this is not good. Like, this is just going to get worse and worse if people just like continue doing all these drugs and just not taking their own responsibility for it. I'm not trying to discourage people who do drugs or drink alcohol. Like, it's your own body. You can do whatever you want with it. And I'm also not necessarily saying that people that do drugs or alcohol are bad people. It's just that you got to consider like how it's affecting other people at conventions, because when you do drugs at conventions, you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting other people as well. And that doesn't have to do with using the drugs itself fully. It has to do with how you do the drugs and how you're not being responsible with them. You have to have other people babysit you. And that pretty much wraps back into me not being that very social and me being kind of nervous to go to these conventions because I don't want to be responsible for someone who probably was doing too many drugs. I have to watch over them. because I don't even think I can really handle that well because of my social problems. I think I'll probably just like freak out if I have to take care of someone or if I witness that. I don't know. I feel very sheltered and very awkward. And I feel like a lot of furries are a lot more experienced than I am in this whole thing because they live closer to conventions. They have more connections to furries than I do because I live in the deep south of Mississippi and there's not that many furries here. But still, hopefully what I said here today can really help you guys have a good idea of what you can do, or really like kind of like help you guys know whether or not to really do drugs responsibly or not, or really help encourage people to do drugs responsibly or not do them at all. And also help encourage you guys to possibly have some confidence within yourself when it comes to socializing at these events. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of SeetherTalks for today. What do you guys think about drug use and alcohol use at furry conventions? And what do you guys think about socializing with other furries as well? Are you a furry that's very social, or are you not? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to my Patreon page, hitting that like button, turning on that notification bell, and subscribing altogether. I've been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys next time. So, goodbye, everyone. Remember, stay safe and be confident. Later, guys. This is Olimar's high-end gaming PC. 120 gigs of RAM. I gotta do my awesome PC gaming while I'm trying to get home. But